In ancient times, the worst torture, the worst punishment was not death. It was isolation, solitary confinement for 24 hours. What does that do to your body and mind? It slowly snatches your soul away. It's unbearable. In a world of 7.8 billion people, nobody should feel alone. Slow motion this side. In a world of 7.8 billion people, nobody should feel like they're in solitary confinement, lockdown. In a world of 7.8 billion people, nobody should feel like nobody cares about me. I'm here to remind you, deep divers, you are not alone in this. In everything that's happening right now in the world, you're not alone. But you have been tricked into believing that you are alone. And this is why we see so many people in the world right now feeling all alone, anxiety, panic attacks, depression. And I want you to know there's a difference between being alone and feeling alone. I love to be alone, deep divers, because I'm like, yes, I can finally get some peace and quiet from these annoying humans. But when you feel alone, you are now disconnected from the whole and now isolated from the whole. And right now, with everything that's happening on the planet, we have to make a vow to ourselves to not feel alone. We have to make a vow to ourselves to connect with people who remind us who we are, who remind us of our greatness. Catch my drift, deep divers? Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers, we are out here in the wonderful, exuberant, magnificent nature art gallery. You can literally hear that bird singing, raising the frequency, raising the vibration, sprinkling that good ass energy on you right now, deep divers. Take that, take that, take that. Now, someone sent me a long message. They're like, Ralph, I have been feeling so alone, it's not funny. With everything that's happening in the world right now, it's really crushed my spirit. I'm having problems at work, problems at home. It's like, even when I turn on the news, I can see they're lying to me. It's like I feel that the bad guys and girls and women and men are winning. And I feel alone, Ralph. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, don't worry, I got you. The cat down the road is like, you will never, ever walk alone. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? Much love to all of you wonderful deep divers. Let me tell you this. You are not alone in this. With everything that's happening in the world right now, you are not alone, but you have been tricked into believing that you are alone. Because when you feel alone, you feel that you're in this by yourself. No, we are all in this together. And right now, there is a great awakening happening on the planet. Many people are now starting to realize we are not the minority, we are the majority that can see what's really going on. We're piercing the veil of the illusion and saying, actually, it's time to get our freedom back. Actually, it's time to reclaim our power. Actually, we don't want to be living in a world of QR codes and microchips and rigid rules and regulations. And right now, many people are losing hope because they're starting, like that person who sent in the message, they're starting to say, actually, it seems like the villains are winning in this story. And I told you, if it seems like the villains are winning in this story, that's because the story is not over yet. When I first started to make videos, I felt alone. I'm like, gosh, who is really going to get me where I'm coming from, that being free is our birthright? But I kept saying it, being free is our birthright. You remember, deep divers? I used to put it at the end of every video, being free is our birthright. Now, after a few weeks of that, someone else started to remind themselves, yes, being free is our birthright. Then someone else, then someone else. Before you know it, I had 100 people who also felt like I did. I no longer felt alone. Yippee! You're not alone in this. You are not alone in this. You see, we can know this by having the courage to speak our truth, even if our voice shakes. You're not alone in life. You're not alone in this pandemic. You're not alone at home. You're not alone in a situation that you think you can't get out of. When you learn to open your mouth, I opened my big fat mouth and said, feels so good to be alive, baby. Oh, people were feeling that. Before you know it, other people were starting to say, gosh, Ralph, I vibe with you. I get where you're coming from. And I realized many people had a similar view of how I saw things. And I never felt alone. I'm like, oh my gosh, we got a whole tribe out here who know that we came here to be free. We came here to live in peace, love, harmony, live our best lives without none of this nonsense. And this is what we have to do. You see, you're not alone in this. Many people feel like what they have to say is not important. It is important, but this is all a grand design to make you feel alone. It's all a grand design to make you feel alone. You see, there's something called the mass formation. In simple terms, anytime, if you go back in history, an authoritarian rule was coming into place, they would create something called a mass formation. And you need 4 things before that can happen. Number 1, you have to make the citizens, the people, feel alone. You have to make the people feel, you got to make the people feel alone and isolated in a state of solitary confinement. That's how you break the people down. Then you have to make people feel like their lives are meaningless and pointless. And then you have to have this free-floating anxiety. People have to start feeling anxiety. It's just floating around, right? I'm so anxious right now. Gosh, I don't know what's going to happen next with Omicron and this and that. Exactly what's happening right now. And then number 4 is that they have to have this free-floating frustration and aggression. And it's happening right now. Oh, I just wish things would just go back to normal, right? So with this mass formation, 30% are hypnotized and already in the mass formation right now on the planet. 40% are not knowing what to do. They're in the middle. They'll go with the consensus. And the other 30% are awake and aware. This mass formation is growing. That 30% is growing more. And this is why there's a push from the media telling you to think like everyone else. Get your boosters, do this, do that. And this is why a lot of people feel alone. But the good news is that there is a great awakening happening. And it happens when we say, actually, we don't have to feel alone. There's more of us than them. In the film Ants, right? Ant, Z, the ant worker, said, wait a minute, I don't have to feel alone, because Z realized that there were more ant workers than generals. And if we could only work together, we would outnumber the generals. And that's what happens when you say, actually, I'm not alone in this. All I have to do is connect with people who remind me who I am. All I have to do is move out of my ego. Ego separates. Love unites. Slow motion this side. All I have to do is remind myself we are never alone. The universe always sends someone. What? All I have to do is remind myself we are never alone. We are never alone unless we abandon ourselves. Say it again. We are never alone unless we abandon ourselves. They want you to feel alone. They want you to feel like nobody cares about you. But I'm here to say to you, deep divers, together, we will get through this. We already have. Unity is what gets us through this. So don't feel like, gosh, you have to deal with everything that's happening in the world or in your own personal life alone. Suppression is depression. Right now on the planet, a lot of people are very quiet, but they're feeling a certain way about what's happening. And this is how you can feel alone. When you don't express yourself. I got a big mouth. I can never feel alone because I'm always expressing myself. That's self-love, right? But if you are someone who's suppressing your emotions and your feelings, you're going to feel isolated. You're going to feel alone. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to really express yourself without sugarcoating it. Say, this is how I feel. And you will feel empowered. You won't feel alone because someone else out there will feel exactly like you do. And remind yourself what you're going through. If you feel alone right now, at work, at home, in the midst of a global pandemic, remind yourself someone has gone through what you're going through right now. So we must remind ourselves that, yes, we can feel alone, but we don't have to live there. Because feeling alone can sometimes create further separation, and that's exactly what they want. They want to divide human beings. Keep you in lockdown, solitary confinement. And you have to say, actually, the greatest thing I can do right now is unite. The only thing that's going to get us through this is community, collaboration. Shout out to After School. We did that collaboration. Coming together, eating together, 7-day vegan challenge, eating together, sharing food recipes together, sharing smiles together, making love together, doing a little samba baby together. Because in a world of 7.8 billion people, nobody should be isolated. Talk to your neighbor. Ask for some raw cane sugar. Maybe they'll lend it to you. They should do. You're not alone in this. Every single day, millions of people are waking up to their true power. And that's the good news. But how you do not feel alone, how I don't feel alone, is that I'm sharing my vulnerabilities. What makes me happy, what makes me sad. I'm an open book. And when you share yourself to the world freely, you now meet your reflections. Here to remind you, deep divers, you are not alone in this. There are many people just like you who can see the illusion for what it is, who can see and pierce the veil of this whole tacky carnival funhouse. And what we must do is connect with each other. Surround ourselves with people who get us, who don't judge us, who don't abandon us, but accept us for who we truly are. Accept us for our authentic state. So I'm here to remind you, deep divers, you are not alone in this. You don't have to feel alone every single day. You don't have to be in that solitary confinement of lockdown and quarantine. You can actually say, today is the day that I unite with my true reflections. And then just say, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello? There is strength in numbers. There is strength in unity. There is strength in oneness. I like that. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Shout out to all of you who have been getting the wonderful good ass prana shirts at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. And if you are a sexy ass model, woo, with a whole lot of heart who wants to model the clothing, well, go and buy some, okay? Add me on Instagram, Deep Divers, for more daily inspiration just like this. Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon. That's the book. Instagram, Deep Divers, pay attention, at Ralph Smart, at Official Ralph Smart, and Facebook, at Ralph Smart, at Infinite Waters, and Snapchat is that good ass prana, baby. Now, check out the new book for more powerful information just like this video. Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon. Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon. And at ralphsmart.com/the book. We are never alone unless we abandon ourselves. Let's not abandon ourselves. Let's celebrate the magnificent wonder that we all are and come together and bring more peace, more love on the planet. Because when we come together like Voltron, it's over for them, right? It's like, gosh, we are so powerful, and that's what they fear. So you must not feel alone. You can be alone, but don't feel alone. Say, actually, there are many people who are just like me, and we should all connect, and we'll become even stronger and stronger and stronger until you're like He-Man and saying, I've got the power. Peace. Infinite Waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy, peace. You! Leave a comment down below, deep divers, of love and appreciation and giving thanks, because we are in this together. Peace.